May the 4th be with you. Okay. It's not May the 4th. It is about 2 weeks later. This is this year's Star Wars episode of Let's Make It Meta. I'm super excited to do it, but it is late. Now, why is it late? Is Jesse just a bum who can't do anything on time? No, it's because Konami decided to make a Cosmo card get unhit on the ban list, emergency teleport, on May 8th. Come on, if they just did that on May 4th, it would have been so cool, but of course they didn't. So here we are, a couple days later, and today it's the meta strikes back. If for whatever reason you haven't already learned this, there are Star Wars cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're not directly named Star Wars cards, they're called Cosmo cards, and they're actually a fusion between Star Wars and the Wizard of Oz. And as I kind of mentioned already, last year I did make a video on Cosmo, a bit of a combo version that I showed you guys. However, today I'm here with a little more of a trap version, really relying on the power of Vader's Force Choke and Dark Destroyer to do some heavy lifting. But now, with that said, let's go build the deck that I love very much. Now, before we get into that, if there's any decks that you guys love a lot that I haven't yet given the time of day or made meta in this series, then now is the time to do so. I promise I read your guys' comments, and I've made videos in the past directly based off what you guys ask for. So if there's anything you want to see in the Let's Make a Meta series as I improve and optimize all of these wacky rogue themes, comment section down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to let me know that I should continue on every week with the Let's Make It Meta. But as we talk about the Cosmo cards, first let's go over what they do. As today is our Empire episode, let's start off with our Darth Vader. Cosmo Dark Lady, a level 5 with 2200 attack. It is a psychic monster. This is playing into one of the gimmicks in the deck. This quick effect lets you banish itself, summon level 6 or higher Cosmo from your hand. Now, for those who don't remember, that first effect is shared amongst all psychic Cosmo monsters. So the way this deck functions is around this kind of mechanic, where you have pilots and ships. Dark Lady is weird as being the highest level of your pilots. It's also the strongest and has the best effect, so it's fine that it's, I guess, kind of the mid-ground between ship and pilot. Half man, half machine, you may say. Or in this case, half woman, half machine. So that's the kind of thing we're looking out for, and I'm going to gloss over that effect in the future pilots. But anyways, Dark Lady has the effect that once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation of any monster effect one it controls, or they activate, sorry, not control, it could be in the grave or hand as well, and then destroy that monster. It's just good. It's Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is a good card by modern standards. It's still good. And Dark Lady is just a walking strike, as we call it, and it'll strike you down. And unlike Obi-Wan, you will not come back stronger. And just take a quick look at this artwork here. Like, come on. Even if this isn't Star Wars, you can't tell me. Come on. Look at the background with, like, the emblems and the lightsaber and the mask and, like, the architecture. It's such a clear Star Wars reference. Oh, I love Cosmo. But that brings us to Luke, or Dorothy, I guess, like if we're going continuing with the Wizard of Oz stuff as well. That's Cosmo Farm Girl. Again, twin suns in the background. It's not very subtle. Again, this one can tag out as it is a pilot. And then when this card is damaged to your opponent, pay 500 life to add a Cosmo from next to your hand. So this one is part of OTKs, and it's searchable. So this is going to be a one-of that we use to just go for game shots. And like when Luke gets that final blow into the Death Star, he's the one that connects. When Farm Girl connects, the game usually is over. That brings us to the trusty sidekick and most important pilot in this deck, Cosmo Tin Can. Tin Can is a level 1/0/0, but don't be fooled, R2D2 has many uses. Because during the end phase of either player's turn, you can 500 life points and reveal 3 Cosmos with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one to go to your hand, and the rest go to your grave. Tin Can control has been around for a long time. It is a slower variant of Cosmo, because obviously, while this is good to search and tag out, by modern standards, yeah, it takes some time to set up. So you do have to go for a more slow control type variant to Cosmo when you're playing this. And as such will be a difference in this episode's deck building to the last Star Wars. Now, there is a bit of an upside here as well with sending Cosmos to the graveyard. Back in the day, you'd play this alongside cards like Oasis of the Dragon Souls and Call of the Haunted to bring back cards you send from deck to graveyard. However, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, truthfully, I find it too conditional and doesn't work enough. So I've actually elected to not go for that synergy. And instead, you can banish your Cosmos from the graveyard for Bestials if you need them banished rather than the grave. Now, the last pilot we've decided to incorporate is C-3PO, Strawman. Strawman is another integral piece of your kill shots. It lets you tag out, obviously, but then also you can pay 500 life points to try one of your banished Cosmos and summon it. Doesn't need its effects and also kills it during the end phase. However, obviously you can attack with it, so reviving something huge is nice, but all of your big ships also floats when they're destroyed. Now, in more combo variants of Cosmo, which we will maybe touch on in the future, you can use this to do some pretty nasty stuff. And in some cases, you can pull off some pretty nuts FTKs. One, in fact, I have already featured on this channel. Now, bringing on to the ships, most important one is, without a doubt, Cosmo Dark Destroyer. It cannot be targeted by your opponent with card effects, and it's 3k, which is like, maybe not busted anymore, but it definitely was a lot back in the day. But also, when it's destroyed by battle card effects, you can banish it from the grave to summon level 7 lower Cosmo from your deck. So, like, it's really hard to kill, and then it floats. Like, that's not meaningless. Furthermore, on summon, doesn't matter how, you can target a monster in the field and destroy it. Now, importantly, you can pop itself and then summon something from the deck of your choice. So this is how you can go for lethal shots and really access anything in your deck. Furthermore, this card is not once per turn, so when you're able to loop these together, you can kind of see how you can do some very cool things with this deck. And the next most important ship is our X-Wing, Cosmo Slip Rider, which on summon will blow up a spell or trap, and then also float when it gets destroyed for level 4 or lower instead. So your pilots go up and your ships go down. And then our last ship for the deck is Cosmo Forerunner, our Millennium Falcon. And this card is kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. This is the problem with the deck. You run out of good Cosmos really fast. There's a lot of really cool cards, cool lore, but there's a lot of bad cards too, and you need to fill out the deck. You're kind of stuck with junk. It can be targeted just like your Dark Destroyer, and it's 2800 level 7, so you can summon it off Dark Destroyer, and it's pretty big, but that's really all it does. It floats again for 6 or lower, but its other effects, unlike Dark Destroyer, which pops, you gain 1000 every standby phase. This one is a bit rough, but you still have to play it. That brings us to our spell and traps. Now, Cosmo Town is our field spell. This one is cool because it's not just the copy-paste field spells of the modern era, but it is great, and then it still has 3 effects, which is kind of nuts. Once per turn, you can target a banished Cosmo and add it back to your hand. You can lose life points times double times 100. It's fine, whatever. And then once per turn, you can shuffle back any number of Cosmos from your hand into the deck and mulligan them to redraw. Cool for unbreaking, because obviously if you draw too many of your ships or pilots. Then lastly, if it's destroyed, you can add a Cosmo card next to your hand. So it could be another town, it could be a Dark Destroyer, it could be a Tin Can, it could be the trap Cosmojo. You have complete flexibility. And depending if you want to lean into combo variations in this deck, you can pop this outside of engine. Then lastly, we've got Cosmojo, our Force Choke, which is actually really good. I think this card is kind of nasty. You target Cosmo you control and destroy it, and then banish one card you control or in the grave. And then it's non-targeting, and it has free reign over kind of wherever you want to hit. That flexibility is kind of nuts. And destroying your own Cosmo is not a downside, right? Because while it's Vader in the picture choking Farm Girl, we're not destroying our pilots here. We're destroying our ships. And oftentimes, we're actually destroying a ship, banishing a card, and then from that is summoned from the deck. Darth Vader. And that is the Cosmo lineup in a nutshell. There are other Cosmo monsters that you play in different variations of the deck, and that are honestly not bad, both pilots and ships to some extent. With that said, let's go into the deck real quick. Alright, so this is the deck list. This is pretty straightforward. Honestly, there's not much spice here. It's just optimized ratios, modern hand traps, and then importantly, the Dogmatica package. What the Dogmatica package does lets me destroy cards more freely, so I can use them to be aggressive and OTK opponents with Entis and Malon clearing their field, or I can pop my own cards. So you can pop Cosmotown to search, or you can pop your own big ships to go back into Farm Girl or whatever else you need. For hand traps of choice, I'm choosing Bestials because you don't see Cosmojo. You can feel a little weak sometimes into, say, Fiendsmith, as well as it lets you banish your own Cosmo sometimes to add back off Cosmotown when you send them off of Tin Can. And remember, these are replacing Call of the Haunteds in this deck because I felt like I need a little bit more defensive options when I go second. This deck's engine is not bad into fields, but by modern standards, it's not the same punch that it once was. It's fine, but it's not brilliant. And the extra deck is accordingly so, very much built on the Dogmatica cards, and that's pretty much it. This is very, very, very clearly not the combo variant of Cosmo. But now, with that said, it's time to defeat some Jedi scum. I have lost the roll up against Ururu. And hand looking solid. We got some very disruption. And we have engine. It may not be like the grandest of engine, but it is engine. So yeah, I feel all right. Oh, nice sense of brick. Lovely. This is where they go like reveal Unchained monster, and I look like a complete tool, but yes. Draw another tin can. I can like summon the Dark Lady and just go swing 22, but I kind of want to just take it nice and slow. So I'm gonna match their pace. I'll chill, you know. I'm the one who's gonna get a search every turn. I have 100 life points off R2D2. Go do some reconnaissance, you know. Stick your little schlong into the terminal and see what you can find. All right. What do I want here? Dark Destroyer is always the answer. I probably don't need a second Dark Lady though, so I'm not gonna go for that. That'd be pretty good. Cosmotown's nice. And then, do I need a Slip Rider? Oh, Slip Rider's fine. I'll take Slip Rider. I'm once again, Slip Rider always is in my hand. Oh yes, I am powerful. Obviously 0 damage there feels a bit bad, but this is no problem. It's Salamangreat. Interesting. So what do we think they drew? Do I just pop this here? I don't want some Dark Lady though, not gonna lie. I'm going to tag this out and summon a Darth Vader. You must. Ah! What? Why are you stuck up, half-witted, stuffy-looking nerf herder? You. Oh God. I didn't know what I was playing, so I think this was completely reasonable. That's unfortunate. And Mag does nothing in this matchup, so I have now an Imperm. I do hope they didn't top deck a good enough engine to really push me out of this. Normal summon. There was no. Oh, he already has the field spell. Okay, that's a good sign for me. And there was no Gazelle trigger there, so he's scrambling. You know, I think he's he's also kind of in dire straits. So I'll kind of chill. I think I'm fine. Spinny's usually not the normal summon if you have other cards as well, so I think we're good. Codasol. Okay, so you can still make Stalio, but it's not the end of the world. Royal Rare Codasol. That's super and ultra. It isn't ultra. That's a neat ultra. Looks kind of cool. Okay. Stalio does lose to Imperm though, which is fine. That's some relink. I do not care. That does nothing. I might go for Princess here instead. Would I care about Princess? No. Okay, so going for this. I haven't asked for anything, right? There's no targets for Hita. There are not. Yeah. Defense is a precarious choice. Is there a reason for me to Imperm on summon versus on effect? Would he have any chainable card? Sign it backdoor. I lose anyways because he can get Gazelle. So I just wait for the effect in case he can summon the second one. In theory, I mean, I don't think it matters. If he has Book of Moon, it beats it anyways. He can't drop with me. Can't decon. Yeah. I'll wait to Imperm now. Go! Infinite Impermanence! No Splash Mage here, but does nothing. Right, no toggle. That's great. So I think it's Salamangreat Sanctuary in hand, and then 2 unknowns. 1 set, 1 on hand. It can't be or it can be, but it can't use Maxi if they have it, which is nice. Thanks to their Dominus Impulse. They'll obviously maintain the follow-up with the Spinning Grave. It's not going to get banished here, but I will be able to resummon our Cosmo monsters. Yeah, Sanctuary. Not really a reason to do that, right? Like, relinking isn't actually good. Unless his face down is a Salamangreat trap that he wants to have relinked for, like Salamangreat Rage. Which, actually, it very easily could be, so that's not that crazy of a statement. I will Mag in the end phase to get the bodies in field. Mag, as far as disruption goes, is effectively worthless. I've not played into Thrust, so I'm going to not have played into Thrust with Impulse. Block the attack then. Yes, block the attack. All right, let's banish my Slip Rider. Oh wait, I can't even summon the second one if I wanted to. Let's say I'll summon the Juice Worm and attack it twice to beat the Bailings, but I don't even have the Light or Dark to do that if I want, which is a bit poopy. End phase. Let's grab Puis Worm. And all right. Draw Cosmojo. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Well, I don't see a reason to tribute summon, so summon Tin Can. The non-target pop and rage can deal with my cards in hand, but obviously it's not that big of a deal. Let's go swinging. If it's the counter trap though, it's low-key a little annoying. Protects with Bailings. If he counter traps this, I can't use the Bestial though, is the biggest problem. Why would he relink it? I think if he's relinking, it's a higher chance that the card he has is Rage. And I should play around Rage, which means I should go for the Cosmo Forerunner here. So I'm gonna use the effects. Hopefully it's not Impulse or Counter Trap. There's a toggle here. Still could be the Rage. Damn, it is. Is the Counter Trap. And sending Cosmojo unfortunately doesn't do anything because they can just add it back with the Wolf. So I will just pass here, and now this is looking a little shadier than I'd like, in truth. I don't think going end phase was correct. Maybe I'm supposed to go SP, but that's also not good because then I can't attack twice with Juice Worm. I go El Mirage and then attack twice. I get raged, and then it's the same. It all ends up in the same kind of position, which is not good for me. I get to add back here, which isn't too important. Right, it's something to add back. It's just the Heat Leo, not the Heat Leo, the Stalio. They're adding back Coda Souls. They can't use that this turn, but that's fine. They can go for Princess here into Raging Phoenix, which is probably what they should do. Then they get to search Gazelle, and then that should kill me. So they should actually have lethal here. I don't know if it's lethal through the Druid Worm, but they should have a way to do a lot, and that is concerning. Princess. Yeah, I think they see the light. They see the line. And I can't believe I'm going to lose this game. It felt like it was so well positioned for me. Maybe I was supposed to summon Dark Lady, Tribute Summon, then summon Druis, but that feels so wrong. I still lose the combination of Rage plus 4, unless he just didn't have Rage face down. But I think if there's one that I'm supposed to predict, it's Rage. So for those who don't know what Rage does, it pops cards I control up to the number of the link rating of a relinked monster he has. So it pops 2 cards non-targeting, which is why I didn't want to commit. Which is why I didn't set the Cosmojo, obviously, but that's why, like, if I tribute summon Dark Lady and summon Druis Worm, he still just goes pop both, and then I chain, and then he counter traps me. So, like, no matter what, I'm left in a weird spot. Oh, the Druis Worm, if it was on the field. No, the thing is, he could just not pop the Druis Worm, right? If he just doesn't pop the Druis Worm, I don't get to send. I attack, he Bailing says, and I'm in the exact same position. So I don't think I really had good recourse. I needed some form of extender. Your combos require multiple cards, right? And if they negate one of the cards, then I'm curious what actually happened here. That was not what I was expecting. They negate one of the cards, you're stuck with the other cards in hand and disjointed combos, right? So you lost one card, in reality you lost 2. So you end up, like, even though you look like you have a lot of resources, kind of not doing anything. I'm not going to summon now because Princess will just pop it. I don't want him to be able to use Princess twice. Maxi's not a bad draw. Alright, let's try this now. And let's target this. Okay, so letting resolve. I'll summon Druis Worm. And I'm pretty sure if I'm right, I'm going to get Counter Trap plus Rage, and it's going to end badly. I'm going to normal summon this to try and beat the... Raging Phoenix. The Sadden's not destroy, so will bypass Balinks and the revive effect off his graveyard. Raging Phoenix. He could counter trap it though. Ooh, he chains to make it immune to card effect or monster effect. That's a good play. That saves him all his resources. Okay. And now I'm in the same position where, again, all I can do is summon from the hand, but I cannot beat Counter Trap. He did add it back, did he not? Yeah, he did. That was strange. All right. All right. Let's attack. You can protect with Balings or let it float off Raging Phoenix. Neither really concerned me too much. Okay, letting both die. I get the trigger. He gets the trigger. This engrave. Yep. I should have maxied probably. Yeah, it's fine. Summon out the Slip Rider. And then I get to destroy the counter trap now. This should be the counter trap. Right? Yeah, it is that. Yeah, it's the new trap. Let's go effect special summon from the deck. And then obviously I'm going to get Straw Man. I'm not going to keep pushing here. Then main phase 2. I have a Dark Lady in deck. I still have a Dark Lady in deck, so getting Forerunner of this is pretty good. Let's get back Forerunner. Chain Imperm. So he did outplay me, I guess. It wasn't Rage. And I could have played around it then, because I could have gone Tribute Summon Dark Lady Druis and then used Druis Worm. We'll chain this though, I think. Actually, I don't know if I was supposed to chain that. I didn't even do that much to chain it. Some of the Dark Destroyer out, because he can protect his Balings, right? Or is there not a Balings Engrave? Oh, there isn't a Balings Engrave. It's actually pretty good for me then. An effect to destroy this. There is a princess there, which will probably come out. You can princess the Slip Rider as well. I'll probably hold the Maxi now. Okay, he's not going to do that. I'll set this. And then now we're actually back. They really messed up. I talked about how this deck is so weak to negation. Them waiting to let me crash with the negation means that they may live to regret that mistake. Now this actually looks winnable for us. They have Charge in hand. I have to read that card real quick, so let me do that before I summon monster. I have 220 seconds on clock. Yeah, I'm in no concern. So start 3 of your fire monsters that are banished from your grave shall tune the deck and summon the remaining, but for the rest of the turn it's affection negated cannot attack. After control a extra deck monster. The different attack than its original, you target a card on the field and destroy it. Why did he keep that in hand? Why did he search it, period? I don't know. But no Balingson's Grave is actually huge for us. And I'm very curious why he didn't summon another, but I'll take it. And I think I let a... Do I have Farm Girl left? Like, if I Maxi him and he passes, does he die? He does. I'm Maxi in draw phase. And I'm banking on, honestly, what is 2 interrupts plus Maxi to get there. Do I negate with the Ash if he ashes this? Probably not. He's training a summon here. That's fine. So he has Coda Soul in hand as well. I remember that. So Coda Soul. Okay. Do I cause Mojo immediately now? Is the next question. But putting back Princess is actually pretty helpful for us. I'm not sure why. Why do they target Princess? That doesn't make sense. That'd be 3 different monsters? I'm actually not sure why they did that. I feel like you should have gone target both Raging Phoenixes and the Sunlight Wolf and put back the Sunlight Wolf and one of the Raging Phoenixes and some another. And we can relink it or it forces an immediate response for me. Chain Droplet. Ooh. I went for 2. So if I chain this here, it means... Okay, so this is a cool thing with Droplet. Droplet has to negate an equal number of cards they sent. So because they sent 2, if I kill one of my monsters, it won't negates the Dark Lady. So this means I can pop my thing here. I'm going to banish from their grave. It targeted this, and where's their third target? Oh, Spinny. So they can bring back Spinny. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the princess, which will force me to shuffle back the other two. Well, 2 of 3 in the deck and special the remaining monster. Yeah, so they're not going to have any remaining ones left. If I'm correct in how this works. This should not resolve. That just does nothing. And then new chain. This resolves summoning Farm Girl. And the game that looked over is now winnable. In fact, I'd argue it's now over. With no cards left, I think we got this. All right. Trust in the Force. Is 37. It's not actually enough. Effective search. I'm not gonna get myself, obviously. If I add Dark Destroyer, it's 3k. It's not enough because it's not a ship. So, do I add Cosmotown or Cosmojo? Probably just Cosmojo, right? Cosmojo's top deck is just insta game. Same spot again. The Banish is better than the Cosmotown. The value of Cosmotown is nice, and I get back Dark Destroyer, obviously, which is good. But Cosmojo is just, like, so broken. 1 card left. Still have Cosmojo. Still got Dark Lady. I feel good. No. A punishment as well. Normal summon maximum C. Let's put this guy out of his misery before he summons a fire monster. Punishment. And let's send Titaniclad. Obviously, game on field. I get Ecclesia as well. This game is over. Special summon it. Don't mind if I do. Make a search. Another punishment. So this is where like the chain of value goes, obviously. Yeah, they are out. And I got Cosmotown. All right. Well, Skywalkers. Defeat him. I think I shall finish this with a good old Dark Lady. That's an interesting game. I feel like even if unintentional, our opponent ended up getting our ass with the relink on Sunlight Wolf, because in truth, it actually is unnecessary because their counter trap was live, whether they relinks it or not. However, it does kind of bluff and they might have rage. Truthfully, unless I'm in a high level situation, I assume it's because they have rage. They did not have rage, and it actually ended up being pretty impactful against us because I played around rage, not roar. But after seeming to understand how good negates were against me, decided to hold it for some reason, and then fell prey to the power. It is the dark side of the Force. All right. I have lost the role against our hero enthusiast, and looking solid. We got a mixture of ships, got a mixture of pilots, even though it's 2 cyborg looking things. R2D2 and Darth Vader. We got Maxi. So that's a good. Oh, Snake Eye. I thought you were playing heroes, my friend. You deceived me. They got all the hero gear. The icon, they got the mate, they got the base, they got the field. That's okay. Hopefully Maxi puts them in their place. But if they obviously have a way to stop Maxi, then I am boned. I'm not going to try and tell you that Cosmic can play through a Snake Eye field. Nothing really can, not even Snake Eye. Normal Lacrima. That's a little yucky. I'm going to toggle on here. If he maxes and gives me 0 draws, am I okay with that? Or do I want to hold the Maxi for a Requiem? I think I'm okay with 0 draws if he just passes. So I'm going to Maxi on Resolution here. Let him send River first so he can't send Paradise. And now I'm going to Maxi here. Hopefully the last 2 cards on hand aren't Ash or Call By. There's a toggle, which is incredibly frustrating, and resolved. Okay. There's a toggle on their hand. I have to be careful of. It might be Maxi of their own. Very, very possible. I think in this position it has to be Maxi, right? Slip Rider. Slip Rider's... okay. Slip Rider actually be really crazy if it weren't for the Maxi in their hand, because what I could do is I can go summon Tin Can, Slip Rider, pop, crash into this, summon Farm Girl, attack over this, and then search for... Well, what do I want to search off that? I mean, I would think about that when I get that far, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting Maxied here, so... now I have the option of killing this or doing nothing. And just leaving this up and going end phase. I'm pretty sure end phase doesn't make sense because I don't need more Cosmos in hand. I have plenty. I don't have Call Haunted or anything, so it's going to be a simple tag out. I may as well do that in the battle phase, or is there a reason to do it in the main? I guess if I get Maxi and Veilered, I'm going to want it in my hand. I'm going to want to do this battle phase. And I am going to want to kill this, right? Forcing normal summon is surely better. Yeah, I think so. All right. I'm going to use my effect. Tin can. I expect a Maxi to come down. Yeah, so I'm probably going to go Dark Lady off this. So I have the strike effect with the ability to turn into a Dark Destroyer at my kind of free will. This does mean I'm keeping both ships in hand, which I think is fine. But this should be okay. So one draw, not the end of the world. The other toggle here. Interesting. So what toggle could they have? Interesting. I hope it's not Magma. That's the only one I'm actually concerned about because it's just broken. But I can deal with Druid's Worm. What other toggle could there be in case I'm not mistaken? I think it has to be Crow or Bistro, right? Can't be Veiler. It was battle phase. Okay. I think that gives me a very good read on information. Time to pass over. And it was Magnemite, but they're doing this now, which doesn't make sense because I can just negate it. Unless the other card, no, it can't even Veiler me now because it's the end phase. This has to be a mistake from my opponent, but now you shall be. I'm gonna make sure not use the right effect. Force choked. No, Magnemite. I am your father.
No. It's not true. That's impossible.
Or mother. No, I am your mother. Because it's the fusion of Wizard Oz and Star Wars, but we're focusing on the Star Wars side right now. Very strange. That play was not heads up. They probably just don't know what my cards do, right? Which I can use to my advantage. If they knew what my cards did, they would not have done that play. And obviously, this effect is just once per turn, so I can do it again on this turn. And I'll be using punishment to make sure that I can protect this from battle if I need to. The question is, do I pop this or do I negate this now? I'm gonna have to negate Requiem though anyways is the thing, because the Requiem does force this out. But I can negate the Requiem because if you don't negate the Requiem, then you can go into it later, which I'm not a fan of. And then he gets to threaten pops and make sequence still, and I'd rather avoid sequence. Because even if he doesn't realize it, Lacrima can lower the attack of my Cosmos, and in doing so, it's pretty good. Actually, there was an argument there that I was supposed to go punishment, pop, and then he cut him off of some Fiend access. Yeah, I mean, potentially that's what I should have done. Because then I save the Cosmo Lady for this. And the negate is probably more important on the what's it called there. I do actually think I made a mistake though in retrospect. I think I should have gone pop 2 there. Because it leaves them with only 1 life Fiend engraved, so follow-up isn't real. As well as it preserves this. That's not bad, because that means this is a lot worse. He's gonna adding back to hand Temple. I want to toggle on just to make sure that's what he's adding, but if he does, then I'm probably going to summon one of these from my hand just to get some pressure on. Temple. Yeah. So I'm going to summon Slip Rider. I'm going to summon... Slip Rider Pop is probably not bad at all. I don't mind that, because adding a card from deck to hand for him doesn't do anything anymore. Because he already has the Poplar there, and... Poplar's a 1, right? It's out. Yeah, you always have to make sure with the formats. Obviously, TCG and Master Duel is different. Slip Rider Pop. It saves the Dark Destroyer in hand, which is the best one. I'd like to not use that here, so I'm gonna summon Slip Rider, I think, and then conserve the Dark Destroyer. Never mind, I can't. I'm being so stupid. It has to be a high level monster, so I can summon out the Dark Destroyer here. Now, do I want to destroy what? I could still get Slip Rider, but that feels a lot worse without the Dark Destroyer in my hand. I feel like I'm supposed to pop This is kind of gross, I'm not gonna lie. What do I want to do? The problem with this card is it actually brings back Snake Out of Elstar, which is really frustrating because it doesn't target to put my monster in the small trap card zone, which is very important that you know, I'm able to do what I need to do. I might just go for Slip Rider. I think I have to go for Slip Rider to pop this, ironically. Which is a little lame, I'm not gonna lie. But alas, it'll have to do. Need to keep him off the field for now until I can get some better engine going. Okay, so popping that is good. See what he temples for. You can use that first, yeah. And that doesn't add anything meaningful. Worst case scenario would be Fire King Ponix, but I'd be very surprised to see both Ponix and Fiendsmith cards in the same deck. And his deck count isn't like huge, so it's not like a 60 card pile with everything that's good. Yeah, follow up. Oh, I mean, it's like, obviously it's something I'm gonna have to deal with in the future, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Linkaribo, short. And then Temple. Snake Eye about start a place. This is going to be a little nuisance over the course of a couple turns. Not going to lie. There's not much I can do about it. Now, obviously, you can prevent floating by pushing this back here. That's why I think this is okay to hold this now. Because I have a couple options with this. I can send a follow-up with Titaniclad for Ecclesia, but I can also Skullwagon to pop my own card. Nightmare Phoenix. That's actually pretty good for me because it really requires very little on my end. Draw. So last card's Oak. That's actually really bad for them. Because now when I pop... What do I want to pop? I think I need to hurry up. I want to pop the Phoenix, right? The Link 2. I don't care if he attacks. It is the... Wait, this is triggering the damage step, actually? I should have checked this. Except for the damage step. Okay, cool. I'll send Titaniclad for follow-up. And this will get me, obviously, into Ecclesia, and then into Maximus. And then I can pop my own cards to start playing again. Yeah, and this is not going to be a problem. Special from deck now. And from this, do I want... I mean, Strawman's good here, but the search is probably just better, right? Because he can't force it out. You know the cards he has. Because he can't make Snake Eye of All-Star here. Not Snake Eye of All-Star. What's the name of the card? Doomed Dragon. I don't know why that was so hard for me. Alright, first let's do this. I need to hurry up, so I'm going to not explain for a second. Sometimes can be a little hard. And they just conceded. Okay. Ah, damn it! I hate you! That was terrible. I'm not very good at acting, guys, if it wasn't very clear. It was still a good show. We beat Snake Eye. So, okay, how does the game play out, though? Let's kind of go over that, because obviously they saw the writing on the wall. I don't know if you guys can see it as clearly as I do. Do you have the force to see the future? The play there is summon Ecclesia to add Maximus, as I foretold. And then you cycle cards with your Tin Can. So Forerunner, Dark Destroyer, and Cosmo Town I'm going to pick. Because all three of those will give me access to a big ship that I can then pop at a later time to get into Farm Girl. Because if I get Cosmo Town, it can add back the Banished Dark Destroyer, and the other two are just big ships themselves. And then when I summon Maximus, I can send Entis and Garura to draw a card, or I can send something else just alongside Entis. But Entis, importantly, to pop my own card, whether it be a Cosmo Town or one of your big ships. That way I can then special from the deck Farm Girl, and then Farm Girl can attack, and then add Dark Destroyer, and that's how you pile a lot of damage up. It's the classic Farm Girl, Dark Destroyer kind of combos that get you these high amounts of lethal. The writing was in the wall, obviously get a draw for turn as well, and the way they positioned themselves, they also ended up hurting their own follow-up. This is actually a prime example when players see the back row and they think, I have to deal with it, but they're not actually playing around the back row by Phoenixing it first. A big thing to note is usually when you're on the better engine deck, which Snake Eye really is, then you don't need to kill. Your deck is just going to win the long game because your deck is the better deck. And I'm not trying to downplay my power of the Force, Snake Eye is a better deck in most cases. Diabell Star outclasses my Darth Vader in this case. However, in this duel, we were victorious. All right, I have won the roll up against Momo, and I shall try to defeat them with my R2-D2. Hand looking okay, and despite how weak this opener may seem, you mustn't underestimate first appearances. As we learned from Yoda. I will set both here, so I can use one on my turn, one on their turn, and then yeah, anyways. Pay 5, get a search. Which effect? It's this one, right? Yeah. Alright. Jinzo looks so pained. So I chain this to summon Farm Girl. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather have the big ship than the Farm Girl in hand. Okay. Summon out Luke Skywalker. And I'm going to reveal this, and is it a big ship? Or is it a Forerunner? Is it a Slip Rider? Or is it a Cosmo Town? It might be Cosmo Town. Does it have the mag in hand? Because I don't really want Forerunner. Forerunner's kind of dookie. Slip Rider is fine, though. I'll pick Slip Rider. Hopefully I don't get Slip Rider. I'll probably get Slip Rider. No, I know how this goes. I must trust in the Force. I shall get Dark Destroyer. No, what is it? Yep. Yeah, I just have the ability to see the future, right? It's the power of the Force. It's always the worst one. Oh, shit. That is a Link something. I don't. What's the name of this card? I just know it's Mathmech, enemy number 1. Let's get this crap out of here. You have to use this now. There's a chainable. Could be Ash, could be Maxi, could be a Bestial. I don't think it's Bestial in Mathmech, though. What am I send off this? Just Garuda draw. The wagon shouldn't matter. Just Garuda draw's fine. Good new card. An Ash, Maxi would be nice. Maxi would be everything. Ironically, if they can't deal with this, they do lose to the Farm Girl with attacking. Alright. They do have the answer to that. I have a mag for Circular, so I actually feel pretty comfortable here. They don't need a fair bit of extension to beat this. And we have pressure, even if it doesn't look like it. This card is pressure. It cannot be allowed to attack. And it's going to be allowed to attack. Alright, so they don't have much. I don't know if they know what Farm Girl does. Whew! Sorry for breaking your eardrums there. All too easy. Toggle there. Okay. Attack. Attack! Wrong, not that effect. Attack my Chandra! It's crazy. Farm Girl is just evil. Luke, it turns to the dark side in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just Chandra. It's the original. That's a crazy comparison to think about. What do I want off this? I'll just grab Cosmojo and just keep playing the slow game. I think Cosmojo kind of bops, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tag this out. I'm gonna summon Slip Rider to pop this. Probably should have summoned Mag just to do extra damage, but this is fine. This is a 2-turn clock. That's really all I want. I'm gonna be in the same spot I was last turn, plus more. Oh, is he gonna have the foresight? I mean, actually, both of these kind of. No, the one that really hurts me the most is if he hits the Destroyer. But oh, nice. But yeah, we're in the same position we were last turn, plus the Cosmojo and Dark Destroyer. Like, and they have one new card. I think we are big chillin'. We have follow up, we have pressure, we have them clocked, we have more disruption. It is over, my friend. This sets up parallel Exceed line. I can just Cosmojo that on summon of the Mirage. So there's not Lingaribo. I don't need to negate it now. So he reveals Exceed here, and I can just chain. So it confirms it's in his hand. So you don't want to just hit the Veiler, because if he's baiting, then we look like complete morons, which would be good play on his behalf. So that's why it's fine either way. But this way, we do this, This won't summon because it has to summon to the zone it points to. And then his one card in hand to deal with Punishment and Magnemite and Dark Destroyer, because we're also going to get a summon off of this. If this gets ashed, actually, then I can't kill the next turn, which is a little shitty. Okay, this is why I should have summoned Mag last turn, because it would have put them on an extra clock. That way they would have died still if they had Ash here. I'm still fine. I still have Punishment Mag, and Peril Exceed should be dead from their hand. Could be better, though. Here we go. Join me, and together we shall rule the galaxy. As father and son. I love embracing the evil side. Alright. They are dead. Very dead. Pay 500 life points and bring back my shippy. And time to go battle phase. Pew pew. This is really another farm girl. You just get to like go super ham. But like this is like the Chandra 18,000 type shit. Listen, it's not Chandra. It's not dealing like that much damage, but this would go for a lot of damage because now I can pop this, summon farm girl from deck, farm girl attack, add Dark Destroyer, attack with this, attack, summon Dark Destroyer, pop this, summon from deck again. Like you can do a lot of damage. Like, definitely more than 8,000. However, here I have another targets, but I also don't need more. This is game. So, lost. All right, that was Control Cosmo. Now you have all tasted the power of the dark side of the Force. And I should have worn my hoodie today and had like the Palpatine. Oh, because I usually do that. And I've had that meme before where if I play with a hoodie up, I look like Sidious. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And remember, if you haven't already watched my last Cosmo video, I do have one in the Let's Make a Minute series, as well as a cool gimmick FTK deck from back when I first started YouTube. It's not the best quality, but it's still fun, so I recommend giving it a watch. And then lastly, if you guys enjoy this and love Star Wars as much as me, then let me know, because I plan on doing a Star Wars video pretty much every single year this time of year. Different ones, of course, but I love this deck, and I would like to keep showing it some love as the years pass. And next year, it may just be the return of the Cosmo meta. With that said, guys, I'll see you next time.